ever since Hazbin Hotel's pilot came out in 2019. From about 6-7 years from then, we finally had the eventful release of Season 2's Hazbin Hotel series at the nearing end of 2025, and thankfully this time they've correctly took many of the constructive criticisms Season 1 received from both viewers and media critics of Hazbin Hotel, definitely improving its performance and outlook in the second season, with not just improving Season 2's writing and storylines, but also progressively improving many of the characters within the series as well, with the most important being the new and improved great television man, Vox.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
Episode 1 of Season 2 rightfully is the first and most prevalent instance where we see Vox's dark side start to come to light. This can be seen when the introduction of Vox for the first time in Season 2, with scenes of Vox and Katie Killjoy interacting with each other, with the writers almost doing a perfect job at hinting at Vox's potentially emotionally manipulative behavior towards Katie.
But why is it so positive? This is the news, honey. If we aren't scaring people with the title alone, it's not worth running. I'm so sorry, sir.
And while this portrayal is done relatively well, it's unfortunately fumbled by having it then be immediately turned into a sex joke.
You can punish me if you want to.
Ew. No.
And while turning it into a sex joke unfortunately ruins the hidden emotionally abusive dynamic they were trying to display here between Katie Killjoy and Vox, by turning it into an effective way to display an emotionally abusive behavior occurring within couples.
There's this idea that abuse can only look a couple of ways, meaning emotional, and emotional has to be particularly aggressive, very gaslighting, but there's so much more to it. There are upwards of 10 types of abuse, and within these categories there are a myriad of types of behavior that can be considered abuse. And some examples of emotional abuse can be enforced social isolation, preventing someone accessing services, educational and social opportunities, and seeing friends, failure to respect privacy, use of threats, humiliation, bullying. According to studies done, in almost 20% of all marriages and intimate partnerships, emotional abuse, verbal threats, humiliating or degrading remarks, and controlling behavior is even more common.
Into an unfortunate, cheap, pointless joke, this doesn't overall take away from the fact of the matter being their ability to effectively display the emerging and hidden dark side of Vox's character and persona. We then see another example of Vox's dark side further come out within the series after one of Charlie's song notes isn't liked by the hotel guests. Vox then proceeds to jump in and control one of the guests, who exits the hotel with his own song note. And during the song note, we see a phone screenshot of Angel Dust basically being in a sexual act, implying that Valentino still somewhat has control over Angel Dust despite the success and incoming wealth towards him and the hotel. But overall, what I like about this song within the first episode of Season 2 is that this time we immediately have all three of the V's actually work together and partake in this singing, showcasing how they're finally being an effective threat by working together towards the hotel. That being of course a massive improvement towards Season 1 where they were mostly separated, where it was mostly only Valentino being somewhat threatening to Charlie and the hotel gang.
So once again, fuck off.
I'm going to enjoy making you pay for it tomorrow.
So to go from originally Vox and Velvet not really doing much in Season 1 and being more so on the plain and quiet side, to now being actually more involved in the V trio's power, overall, that's what I like about Season 2, as it immediately gets in and lets you know that from the get-go, they are stepping up their game and being more effective in their anti-hotel strategy. Ultimately, the song note showcases the toxicity towards women and mostly Hollywood stars in the industry, showcasing how their sexiness is used to the max to viewers' eyes.
Take all these starring roles! We trademarked all your holes!
And when finally overused and excessively done to the point where it's no longer milkable, they're basically casted off like it's nothing and traded in for the next younger and hotter talent that is recruited by the originally casted out member themselves. Kind of like in a trafficking-like method, and while this is a theme that's of course portrayed in other movies,
The Substance uses body horror again, along with dark comedy, to explore more internal issues, like the pressure and rejection women face by society, especially as they age. Hollywood star Elizabeth Sparkle is forced out of her career to make room for younger talent.
the show arguably does it a lot better by portraying it and getting straight into the mix, and that's exactly what happens in these industries, so I don't have to watch a whole movie to understand what's going on. And instead, I can simply know the dark, exploitative horrors of the film industry from simply watching a 2-minute musical.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
One of the more productive improvements that Vox has had in regards to his character development is him taking a stand against the other Vs a lot more productively and effectively, such as standing up to Valentino and Velvet in various instances rather than brushing them off as if they were nothing. For instance, Vox speaks out against Valentino's actions during a meeting, for instance when he violates conduct.
You can just focus on me, baby.
I said to come alone, Val. Din Shocky!
Hey, I was using that.
With the scene of course further helping to establish that Vox has actually had somewhat power and dominance over Valentino, by having Vox essentially take one of Valentino's minions and dump them into the shark tank for them to be killed, showcases Vox's somewhat power and complemented strength that he's able to defy Valentino whether Valentino likes it or not, also helping to establish Vox as more of an effective leader and character since he's able to get at both of them and rightfully chastise them for their wrongs. Now obviously you could chop this off to simply him caring about his public image rather than what's right, but it does showcase that Vox is being more of an effective leader and power force versus than when he was in season 1, as in season 1 Valentino was rather easily able to steamroll over him without even trying.
Fucking finally! Can you believe what that piece of shit did? The ungrateful whore!
Which whore are we talking about this time?
Fucking angel dust! Who the hell else would I be talking about? That fucking slut!
But in season 2, he's actually able to take an effective stand against the guy, whether he likes it or not. We see this in other examples, such as for instance when Vox not speaking out against for instance Velvet's lack of care towards Valentino in earlier seasons.
Tell me, where's our hot-headed friend now?
Up in his tower, waiting for a flat-faced prince.
And, what's got him so out of sorts today?
Who knows? Now, shoo! Take care of the piss baby.
Being vastly improved in season 2, as we see a rather different and improved upon motive of Vox, as we see him take a more productive stand against Velvet in season 2 by having her retract some of her statements and actually apologize for her behavior, such as in past meetings with other demons, whether she likes it or not.
My associate Velvet here came along today to apologize. She meant no harm. Did you, Velvet?
That's right. I spoke out of turn. Forgive me.
These examples showcase Vox's ability to be a stronger powerhouse against the swamp rather than the former character we saw in season 1, who had Valentino having an easy time getting under his skin.
It's been 7 years!
You still pissed? He almost beat you that time.
Fuck you!
Just saying.
2 steps ahead. I am always 2 steps ahead.
Season 2 of the series reveals just how far ahead Vox has been in regards to his planning and careful considerations. It's effectively showcased just how far Vox is in regards to his planning in season 1. Everything he did that made him seem more like a pussy who sits back and does nothing was actually a tactical move. For example, the refusal to join the demon war conflict wasn't done out of cowardice, it was a tactical move for Vox to convey his arguments against the Heavenly War people by not joining the war in season 1. He now effectively has the excuse to basically say, well, I did absolutely nothing to them and they attacked me, effectively being able to argue in a tactical manner why his rebellion against the heavenly regime is a noble cause, not just with people like Carmela Carmine by getting her to agree to Vox's deal.
You think they won't come for you? The one that supplied the princess with the knife that killed their leader? Help me protect Hell, Carmilla.
I'll build your weapon.
But also against his own V members, as he was able to use Velvet's past actions against her in order to further convey his points and arguments.
Way to throw me under the fucking bus back there, V.
Oh, come on, Velvet. We got the deal, didn't we? Besides, you did manage to fuck up the one Overlord meeting I let you do on my behalf. So, maybe you should reflect a little, okay?
This showcases an evident hidden power structure within the V totem pole, showcasing how in reality, while season 1 led us to believe that Valentino may have been the domineering figure in the group,
Fucking finally! Can you believe what that piece of shit did? The ungrateful whore!
Which whore are we talking about this time?
Fucking angel dust! Who the hell else would I be talking about? That fucking slut!
in reality, Vox was the hidden man calling the shots behind the smokescreen. This manipulation translates perfectly in a convo with Carmilla and Zestial, as despite Zestial's disapproval with Carmilla agreeing to aid Vox's war against Heaven, she's still rightfully able to counteract his ideologies by pointing out that if it wasn't for her, this war wouldn't have been aided to begin with.
Carmilla, you surrendered yourself to the media overlord?
This is not about sides, Zestial. I won't lose anyone else. My loyalty is to my own, my girls, you.
This not only showcases just how much Zestial has fallen from being a once threatening demon to now a simple husk of a spider-like figure that he is now, but it also showcases how well Vox's manipulation works against Camilla, with even her disagreeing and turning on one of her own most loyalist allies she's been at the side of for years on end. Additionally, we see another example of Vox being 2 steps ahead and calling the shots in regards to a later scene in episode 6 in his confrontation between Valentino and Vox, when Vox essentially takes many of the statements that Valentino's been repeating since season 1, that being his constant thoughts about angel dust.
That fucking slut walked out on me. Me! I fucking made him! Without me, he's just a bag of meat with some mildly entertaining holes.
Alongside in season 2 as well, and actually using it against him.
I'm not gonna wait in the wings again while you and Angel take center stage.
Oh, Val. Is that jealousy, I hear?
Showcasing to us that Valentino, while initially at the beginning may have been like he was the powerhouse in the studio, in the bigger outside world, Vox is effectively able to convey towards him that the cards are not in fact in his favor. Showcasing another moment where Vox showcases his dominance towards Valentino, figuratively and later literally. And while in these episodes, we do see aspects of Velvet and Alastor butting in to of course disrupt Vox's coercive behavior,
I don't see this part in the script. Funny how you make time for us when you need something.
Velvet, I was just about to fill you in.
Seemed more like begging to me.
he still ultimately got Valentino to concede to Vox's demands of letting him have his grip over Angel Dust, showcasing to the audience that ultimately at the end of the day, his grip still hasn't exactly slipped when it comes to his reach to the other V crew members, showcasing to us that while it initially seems his manipulation may be slipping, it is not at all, and he is still calling the shots one way or another. Additionally, the later scenes displaying Vox's more hidden and more physical outrageous treatment towards Angel Dust showcase to the audience that while Valentino's treatment may have been horrendous, the more darker reality showcases that Valentino only is a grain of salt compared to Vox's more direct and heinous attacks towards Angel Dust, showcasing to us that while Valentino may not be as effortful about hiding his behavior, in reality the dangerous and horrendous attacks are the ones that you can't see and remain behind closed doors that are the real danger. Because while in public, Val has to pull back at some of his punches, Vox, however, doing this fully in private and not having a track record of doing it in public like his Valentino friend, is able to do this all out and be as heinous as possible without fearing of being possibly caught. Additionally, the follow-up scenes showcase the reveal of how Vox has been secretly hypnotizing Angel Dust this whole time, and thus getting him to work and deliver information to Vox about the gang all this time about the hotel without his knowledge, showcasing to us the audience just how much of the driver's seat Vox has really been in when it comes to his presence in the V leadership trifecta. Additionally, it showcases to the viewers that while Valentino may have been the supposed antagonist in the Poison music video, in reality it was the small panel screenshot of Vox discussing to Valentino in front of Angel Dust that was actually the writers subtly foreshadowing to us that while in reality Valentino may have looked like he was the one actually calling the shots and domineering over Angel Dust at first, the realistic side is that it was actually Vox who was truly truly the one in actual charge and telling him exactly what he wanted him to do, thus showcasing just how much of an effect Vox has on everybody around him and how much he's been secretly calling the shots behind closed doors, showcasing to us that in reality Vox is not messing around and has really been doing what he's been doing without anyone even knowing.
Take that!
Another thing that definitely makes Vox a great upcoming villain antagonist in the second season is his ability to appeal to populism, effective argumentative tactics, and the ability to flip the script on his opponents and use their own stances against them. We see this very example when Charlie's father joins a fight to interrupt Vox's press conference, and again, if anything, all Lucifer's song basically does is only really amplify the point Vox's resist message stands by, which granted isn't exactly a big of a challenge to pull him off, when in the musical he publicly says things like he's Hell's King, thus only giving Vox the amplified power to convey his resist message more and turn around and basically say, hey, look at this tyrant king right here demanding we bow down to him as his leader. We should rightfully be resisting against his declarations to be king and demands for people below him to bow down to him at all costs. With Lucifer's musical ultimately backfiring, as all it does is effectively strengthen Vox's resist chant, showcasing how effective Vox's traps and manipulation tactics are, as he basically got the ruler of hell to look like a pompous douchebag, but further boost his message of resisting, especially in the face of a person like Lucifer, who demands he be king and that everyone below him bow down at all costs, showing ultimately how effective Vox is at playing the manipulation trap game without even lifting a single finger. This is additionally highlighted within Vox's counter musical response, showcasing just how much of a missed opportunity it was for Vox to not be portrayed like this in season 1 here and there, as if you had displayed this type of behavior from Vox in the first season, that would have actually showcased to season 1's audience and reviewers that Vox should be taken more seriously and displayed as an actual threat. Like, why did you wait until season 2 to amplify his character? Like, this is a ridiculous late attempt to have his truly evil prowess jump in now, and I would argue it should have rightfully been implemented in season 1 rather than taking season 2 for these developments to be implemented. I'd argue that it's far too late. And of course we can't forget the evident MAGA reference. And honestly, I gotta give it to them. This was a pretty creative way to tie it in, and honestly I'm all here for it. Well done, writers, pretty damn smart. The fact that y'all managed to put in these little political tropes within your series and actually get them to work productively, well done. Additionally, obviously the audience in the crowd of the musical screaming Vox,
Make some noise!
is of course an effective display of effective usage of populism and populist values used to further amplify his resist message against the heavenly forces, which again showcases the effective little drops of political tropes and little messages here and there that are actually done properly and done in a way that doesn't come off as cringe or outdated due to it being well scripted, well thought out, and properly put in at the right time and place. So I gotta give to the credit of the writers of this musical, you guys actually did a really good job here, and this is honestly probably one of my most favorite musicals so far, with once again Vox further amplifying his attacks towards Lucifer in the musical. And while you could obviously point out the irony of, someone who's just kidnapped another person, calling out the authoritarianism or king-like behavior of another person, but ultimately these scenes and musicals showcase how well Vox is at the manipulation and persuasion game, because he's able to effectively loop Lucifer into his own trap and also provide him the exact arguments and refutations he wants towards him, with him then further pointing out towards Lucifer's face just how much of a lapdog he is compared to Vox himself. This showcases just how much of a perfectly good argumentative, manipulative, and persuasive person Vox really is. Like, the writers have definitely stepped up their game and improved his character from being a non-threatening, non-important, jealous stalker ex-girlfriend like type character in season 1, which fair enough, but like, dog, I'm here to watch Hazbin Hotel, not some petty internet style grudge taking place with these two. Like, what is the point? Like, Vox, it just doesn't really work, because not only is it revealed that the TV guy has spies do his work for him.
Wait, you were caught? It hasn't even been
a day!
Why am I supposed to be threatened or intimidated by Vox for the future season 2 when he's a character who's too much of a pussy to come at people directly and hides behind others? There's nothing here that screams intimidating at all. Is this supposed to be Alastor's #1 enemy? He just sounds like an obsessed stalker girlfriend. To a now threatening and actually impactful speaker and populist individual within Hell's world in season 2. Able to not only gain the effective appraisal of millions of Hell's audiences, but also simultaneously motivate them to follow his new age era cause and reject the long upheld establishment of Hell.
Let's unite and fight for a brand new Love it! Happy days are not with Vox at the That's me!
Showcasing just how much of an improvement the writers have done to his character in this exact season 2. Well done, writers.
Are you willing to fight?
No.
We further see this effective display of populism and argumentative tactics from Vox when the Heaven individuals come out and apologize, with Vox not only pointing out how long they remain complicit in his people's genocide, but also showcasing how pathetic their attempts to apologize are, pointing out how gift baskets do not make up for the millions of Hell citizens' lives that they have taken.
We are sorry.
Oh, really? You're sorry? And what do you have here? Are those gift baskets? You are apologizing for genocide with gift baskets?
And while these are basic arguments that anyone could come up with, it does show how effectively he's able to flip the script and take out the most powerfulest of individuals who were once feared by Hell's people and turn them into non-threatening cowards who even the most lowest ranking of Hell people don't fear at all. All Vox is doing is simply stating facts for what they are and doing it in a way that basically gets people riled up and rightfully on his side towards his cause. Because if there's one thing that people rightfully oppose, it's war criminals, with once again effective displaying of his resist message utilized all over again. Another effective display of Vox's argumentative tactics is of course showcased again as when Seraphine outbursts against him in the heat of the moment, he then utilizes this to his own cause, showcasing how ridiculous it is that they should be grateful that they had genocides ordered against them.
Enough! Sinners like you are the reason I allowed for the extermination in the first place.
This angel admits it! She called the extermination to silence the sinners speaking out. You did it to keep us down.
This immediately lets you know that Vox is not playing around and that man is more smart than what people give him credit for, with his next musical then highlighting this in a sort of fight the power type messaging method.
We are not gonna be kept down anymore. I've woken up the people to the lies you angels tell.
Showcasing the conveying of productive resistance against once feared powerful members, and in all honesty with how impactful Vox's messaging is, even if they had brought Serpentius with them in the portal, it still wouldn't have helped their messaging or atonement at all, because all Vox would have simply had to do is call Serpentius a traitor for joining the side that's been yearly killing mostly Hellborn individuals, including children, rather than those that were sent to Hell for bad behavior done as humans, alongside utilizing his new Heaven status against him by pointing out that him switching teams is basically him choosing to be complicit in the genocide, by pointing out his decision to join the side that's been responsible for killing Hell's individuals every single consecutive year. This effectively shows how effective a debating champion Vox is and how well he's able to create a ring of support around him as well. With Vox's effective argumentative traps and manipulation, even getting to the point where Charlie proceeds turning against her own father and girlfriend for interrupting Vox's press conference unplanned.
Thanks to him, and apparently you, Vox was able to spin it. If you don't care about what I'm trying to do, then I can just do it myself. Fine, the mujer. I think you should leave, Dad.
Okay. Thus showcasing the full effective tactics of Vox's nature and character in this new and improved second season. While Vox has most definitely carefully planned out his evil regime and effective transition to power, that being said, it's not as though there aren't any flaws or effective kryptonite towards his plan, and overall that kryptonite is of course the eventual duping by Alastor. Now obviously I won't argue that Vox, for whatever stupid reason, not killing Alastor when him and his other V members Valentino and Velvet had Alastor and his two other hotel members knee to the ground is in fact stupid, and again it's obvious why that's being done, that being of course the the writers blatantly keeping him alive and giving the most stupid and outrageous reason for not killing them on the spot, all because the writers realize, oh shit, we almost killed off a main antagonist that we need to have alive in order to keep milking drama out of for future episodes of the series. But ultimately, besides that stupid inconvenience and blatantly obvious stunt from the writers, Alastor being in Vox's encapturement does indeed showcase how him being alive has become Vox's blatantly most evident form of kryptonite by not just making jabs at Vox's ego, but also showcasing how powerless he'd be if he didn't receive the help and assistance from others to get the materials he needed to reach the power that he has.
I must say, the way you've been begging for help all around hell, it's pathetic.
Examples such as these successful low-tier rage bait moments by Alastor not only prove how big of a mistake it was for Vox to have not killed him off, but essentially, by not killing him, all Alastor is doing is essentially trying to get Vox to fall into the most unproductive and unhelpful mode possible, thus only getting him into a foolish trap that he has goaded him into partaking. With this, of course, further highlighted when Vox essentially hijacks the phone service to essentially get his caller ID to display Charlie's mom's profile picture and phone number, with this ultimately showcasing why Alastor's manipulation tactics productively work, as due to Alastor's jabs at his ego, he's willing to take it so far as to invite Charlie to his celebration dinner in order to get Charlie to concede that he is the most powerful demon, with of course showcasing how he's able to fall into Alastor's low-tier rage bait, as of course it wouldn't matter if Charlie thinks he's a good demon or not, or is willing to follow his orders, since at the end of the day, why would it even matter what she as an individual in the hotel thinks when millions of Hell's people dislike her and are on your side, and are going to fight this war on your behalf. So again, it showcases both a case of somewhat tactics but also foolishness from Vox, once again, with this additionally highlighted later on with the other Hazbin hotel members and Charlie being able to plan schemes in order to take the power back and overthrow Vox's current positive narrative within the Hell world to their benefit, with this also being additionally highlighted from the point of view of Vox's other allies who have noticed their teammates' lack of interest in their wants and needs and only putting himself first and his wants first.
If he thinks that he can cut us out, fuck him! Just being blunt, once we rule all creation, he'll pay for this little stunt.
Thus highlighting a potential misstep Vox has made in regards to his planning, all as a result of Alastor's effective low-tier rage bait kryptonite.
You fell off.
This fall from the highest graces as a result of Vox falling for Alastor's low-tier rage bait highlights how consequential Vox is for taking this bait that's resulted him in a downfall that he simply cannot pull himself up from, by having Charlie be made to tell that Vox is the best demon in hell, done by Alastor's further request. However, Vox doesn't realize that this isn't the sweet victory that he thought it to be, as he unintentionally put his hands on Charlie when she was giving her speech, thus leading to them unintentionally breaking the deal they had, and leading to them finally being able to duke it out in an all-you-can battle fashion, with Alastor's progressive trickery such as pointing out that Vox still needs assistance to take him out, such as help from his giant robot pet shark.
Vox, you still can't take me one-on-one. You need your little doggy. Damn it!
Only further progressively leading to Vox losing his mind further and going as far as to use the blaster he created against his own Hell people by also having them be destroyed in the blast in an attempt to destroy Alastor at all costs, which of course directly leads to the crowd's disapproval rating with Vox, and not surprisingly his own V members turning against him, as Alastor's rage bait has taken it so far to the point where Vox even tries to kill everyone in a blast range big enough to kill half of Hell's entire population, including Alastor and Vox, with this act of course being so insane that it of course leads to his own V allies turning on him, as they themselves do not want to be blown up in this blast range, thus leading to Vox being further disarmed and turning him into nothing more than a monitor, and defusing the explosive laser he was planning on blowing up. This progressive downfall showcases to Vox that he simply cannot get back up on his own feet, as well as showcases how well Alastor was able to use Vox's weakest virtues against him, that being his cockiness and overall jealousy, a factoid that remained with him even towards his death in the human realm, as jealousy was the main contributor as to why Vox in the human realm did what he did, being that he simply wanted power, influence, and control in the media realm that others had that he didn't get to have. But it also showcases how well Alastor was able to use this weakness to his own advantage and flip the script on Vox by using this tactic of Vox's desperate jealousy against him, and thus leading to him basically destroying both his overall reputation in the hellish regime, as well as getting him to do the things that were completely against his overall personal and public image interests, thus turning him into nothing more than a hollow TV monitor who is hated by all of the Hell people's masses.
Game over!
Ultimately, when it comes to Vox, I'm most definitely pleased with his massive stepping up in not just his character arcs and development, but also in his overall presence in the V trifecta and as an individual membered villain within that group, going from a once non-prevalent, non-effective stalker ex-girlfriend-like character to a now mastermind villain in the second season, showcasing how many of his cautionary steps within season 1 were actually carefully planned as a two-step method for his plans to take over as both leader of Hell but also leader of Heaven as well, showcasing how he was always 2 steps ahead in his evil plans, with his 2 steps ahead in planning only falling to eventual pieces as a result of him being challenged by a bigger, more cunning figure who was actually 3 steps ahead, that being Alastor. And overall, while I'm not necessarily going to confidently say if whether or not the writers plan on simply declaring Vox eliminated from this point forward and thus putting him to rest, and finally delegating on season 3's dealings with the hotel's fight against Valentino's control and wrongful contracted imprisonment of Angel Dust, or if the writers will somehow try to have him weasel his way into being prevalent again in the next season 3. What I will say is that ultimately I think it would be better to simply conclude this book on Vox as a character from this point forward, as trying to bring him back into the series from this point forward would not only feel forced, but would simply be adding in unnecessary interruption in the forward season's progress. Effectively, all bringing Vox into the series again is basically simply repeats the Striker dilemma from Hell of a Boss into this show, where you basically create so many ridiculous excuses as to why a villain isn't 100% defeated, and how they in the most nonsense way are able to blatantly slip through the cracks of punishment and simply come back again for another repeated and blatantly predictable conflict all over again.
Maybe you'll get me next time, Blitzy.
Enjoy getting rid of them.
So overall, it would simply be in the writer's best interests to let the Vox character come to a rightful conclusion and simply work on season 3's eventual conflict between Valentino, Angel Dust, and the other Hazbin Hotel members in the next upcoming season 3. But ultimately, all in all, that's going to conclude this character analysis and review. I'll be working on releasing an entire review of the second season. But that set aside, thank y'all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video around with your friends. But nonetheless, I'll be sure to see you guys in the next 2026 YouTube upload. Peace.